All right, folks, here we are, 7 o'clock on the dot. Hurricane Milton coverage right now. We've been covering this all night for you, continuous coverage, because it's that important for us.
We do have you covered every step of the way here. Our team of meteorologists, weather experts, Jennifer Correa, Francis Payton. And Francis, I know right now you're kind of focusing in on the top 5 hurricanes to hit Florida when we're thinking about the wind.
Yeah, and you know what's really interesting about the top 5 is actually we have a few that tie for that 4th and 5th spot. So it's actually 9 storms on that top 5 list. And Milton, as strong as it is, and we've been talking about it all morning, it's not going to crack that top 5 list.
Which seems jaw-dropping.
Yes.
In how we've talked. I know you're going to go into that much more in just a few.
Yeah, another big thing that stood out with the latest advisory that we have is that 12 hours. That's how long it's going to take to cross the state from landfall to exiting out the Atlantic.
From West Coast to East Coast. It's going to be a long night.
Yep.
Long morning too. From, tonight into tomorrow morning.
Absolutely.
So preps completed this morning.
Get them done this morning.
That's
Get
it.
them done.
If you have friends out in the West Coast that are staying because they're not under mandatory evacuations, they're already dealing with a lot of rainfall.
Yeah.
So those preps hopefully were complete.
Yeah, you say that from not the stance of convenience, right? It's necessity to have them done this morning.
Yeah, because we're getting into that point now where we're going to start getting more of these tornado warnings.
Yeah.
Of
We've
course,
already seen 3 this
lots
morning.
of lightning. Yeah, down in Miami-Dade and Marco Island as well. So that's basically what we're getting into. And so as we get closer and closer to landfall, those impacts will heighten even more so, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at the loop here. There is Milton. Now look at that last image there. Look at the eye, pinhole eye. That is indicative of a very powerful hurricane. It is a Category 5 as of 5 a.m. still, but because it looks like it could be going into an eye wall replacement cycle, maybe it does downgrade a bit to a 4. That's the expectation, by the way. That could happen maybe later this morning or if not by the afternoon. But again, we should see how that process takes place. The one thing that will help to maybe weaken it and keep it as a 4 is the wind shear. But nonetheless, a 4, it is a devastating hurricane, major hurricane. And expectation is that the maximum sustained winds at landfall at 2 a.m. Thursday will be at 130 miles per hour. So we just talked about this from 2 a.m. landfall to 2 p.m. Thursday afternoon, west to east coast. There you go, 12 hours of the peak impacts. Of course, once it exits, there's still going to be some impacts, but they'll start to lessen moving forward. So it's not really until Thursday night where those tropical storm force winds for us will start to drop. And speaking of, here's a look at the tropical storm wind probabilities closer to home. Look at that percentage. It is looking, yes, likely sustained winds at tropical storm force speed between Vero Beach, Port St. Lucie. So basically, even parts of Martin County, but the further north you go, the higher that probability. This also includes Okeechobee County. Now remember, these 3 counties, Okeechobee, St. Lucie County, Indian River County, you're under that hurricane warning. So the winds could be gusting hurricane force with tropical sustained winds, but potentially at times we could have sustained winds at hurricane force, at least Category 1. That is the thinking, and the peak of that will be essentially Thursday morning, especially when that eye gets closer and right over parts of Brevard County. So remember, that's going to happen a little later on in the morning into the early afternoon hours Thursday. Now, as far as the West Coast, 100% chance for tropical storm force winds, of course. So let's go ahead and take a look at the hurricane wind probabilities for the West Coast. That has been increasing based off the forecast code between Bradenton and Venice because that's where the center of the cone is. So it is looking likely that if that's where landfall happens, you're going to have the strongest hurricane winds right there. And those hurricane winds extend out up to 30 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds extend out about 130 miles out from the center. Okay, let's talk about county by county. So we are in a tropical storm warning for Palm Beach County. 1 to 2 inches of rainfall expected. In fact, the flood watch has been canceled for Palm Beach County, not for Martin County. Just keep that in mind. But with that said, we could still have some localized minor flooding. Now the winds peaking overnight, especially during the morning hours of Thursday. 45 to 65 miles per hour. Stronger than that, potentially for Martin County, 50 to 70 miles per hour. Tropical storm warning is in effect, but there's actually still the possibility of course, hurricane gusts or hurricane force wind gusts. And then further north into St. Lucie County, this is where we start those hurricane warnings. So 50 to 75 miles per hour wind speeds expected as Milton makes landfall, crosses the state. In Indian River County, higher than that, up to 80 mile per hour wind speeds. And then the rainfall amount 2 to 4 inches, similar to Okeechobee, just as Indian River County could have winds sustained 65 to 80 miles per hour with higher wind gusts. So we are going to get certainly some definitely damage from those winds, especially when it gets close to that Category 1 status, those wind gusts or sustained winds. You're going to get for sure down trees, power outages. I also want to mention the threat of severe weather. We're going to start getting it throughout today, especially once the rain bands come in later this afternoon and evening. So for Okeechobee County, Indian River County, part of St. Lucie County under enhanced risk. This is pretty significant, level 3 out of 5. So scattered thunderstorms capable of producing those scattered tornadoes, they can certainly spin up, and that will last throughout the time that Milton makes landfall. So it could start, it's definitely going to start earlier, the threat, around the late afternoon and evening, but it will last into the late night. And of course, this enhanced risk also extends out into Tampa, Central Florida, Orlando area, up into the Space Coast. In the yellow, slight risk, isolated brief tornadoes expected for Martin County, Palm Beach County. So we're going to keep an eye out on that, of course, throughout today. As far as the radar goes, so far it's been pretty quiet. I'm just going to zoom in closely to where we're seeing the rain so far in our viewing area is northern Okeechobee and also Indian River County. Raining right now in Fellsmere and Sebastian, but none of these showers pose any severe threat at the moment. We do expect that later on today. Okay, Francis, you're going to show us that list about those hurricanes that were a Category 5 status.
Yes, and I think Ashley said it best. This is still going to be a very powerful hurricane to make landfall and impact the state, but at least the silver lining is it's not going to be as powerful as we've seen in the past. So check out this list. It's actually 9 here because we have 3 storms tied for 4th and 3 storms tied for 5th. In terms of its power, we're ranking it based on its wind speed. So the weakest on this top 5 list is wind speeds of 145 miles per hour at landfall. And just putting that track with the system, Milton currently looking at wind speeds at 160 miles per hour, still looking at that strong Category 5, and is going to encounter a bit of some shear as we do have a boundary towards the north of us, and that's going to help it weaken just slightly ahead of landfall, but still making landfall with wind speeds near 130 miles per hour. And I just actually looked up, if you do not have impact windows, if you have wind gusts near 77 miles per hour, that could actually crack the glass in the window. So that's why we do suggest to put up your shutters when we do have that hurricane warning in effect or watch in effect. And if your warning's already there, your shutter should already be up in the event of that hurricane warning. But we're going to watch the system again move across the state within a matter of 12 hours, still maintaining its hurricane status once it exits the state. But as far as our local impacts for today, we were talking about the risk of seeing some damaging wind gusts. We also have that tornado risk for especially later this evening is where I'm most concerned about. So I have your Vipercast to show you. It's not going to be a washout of the morning. So if you still have things on your checklist or to-do list, right now is the time to get them done. Please do it now. Do not hold off. Do not postpone anything. Please be proactive this morning and productive too. So we're talking about just seeing a few spotty showers in the morning, talking about dealing with some isolated storms as we get into the lunchtime frame. And by 1 o'clock, you need to be done with this list. You need to be ready to just hang out at home. Make sure you stay up to date with the radar, have a way to receive alerts. We'll have a brief break between that lunchtime frame, and then we're talking about seeing a heavier or stronger band move across the area near 7 o'clock tonight. We're monitoring this band even into the midnight time frame. So I understand that's about a 5 to even 6 hour window where we are going to see that threat for a tornado. So that's where I want you to have already in mind your safe space to go to, and as well as a way to receive alerts in case in the event we do have those power outages, or heaven forbid we don't have access to that cell tower, so you aren't getting alerts sent straight to your phone. So make sure you do have a way to receive those alerts throughout the day today, even especially in the evening time frame. Good news is by Thursday, we're just talking about some really strong wind gusts. It's going to be fairly isolated activity on Thursday. And finally, those winds start to calm down as we get into your Friday and looking at some more sunshine returning by Friday. So today and as well as tomorrow are going to be your Milton impact days.
All right, normally this could be getting ready for school time. Not today. Classes are canceled in every district across our viewing area today and tomorrow. It's Okeechobee, Indian River, St. Lucie, and Palm Beach counties. Now, the biggest change is Martin County, where leaders have decided to close school Friday as well. Other districts plan to make a decision about Friday after the storm passes through.
Let's talk about your transportation options here. St. Lucie County's public transit ART, the Area Regional Transit, is suspending fixed route and on-demand service beginning at noon and will stay closed through tomorrow. ART does tell us they plan to reopen on Friday, of course, weather permitting, as we continue to track Milton.
We have our reporters fan throughout the Palm Beaches and Treasure Coast this morning. That includes our Matt Cesney.
He is Hutchinson Island area, the Fort Pierce side of things. Matt, what are you seeing as the sun's up? You know, you're really getting a sense of what's going on around you right now.
Yeah, it's certainly not a typical sunrise on Hutchinson Island this morning. Actually, once daybreak came, you could actually start to see how cloudy it really is and how these clouds are actually moving. We've had on and off rain for the last several hours, especially coming into the early morning. A number of buildings, like this commercial building here, getting all ready for this hurricane warning that's up here in this area. We're just down the road from the Fort Pierce Inlet, but the windows are boarded up. There's some sandbags at the door, and I guess you could say some people are already ready and prepared for this. I have a special guest who was out here for his morning walk, and a lot of people may recognize Bob Benton as a former mayor of Fort Pierce. Bob, how are you taking, how seriously are you taking this storm?
Well, I think after the last storm, a week and a half ago, that really woke people up, and to see another one just as bad following it, and knowing how bad things were in Tampa. The day was coming, and we know a lot of people in Tampa, and it was really hard over there.
What are your plans with your home? Are you going to stay home through this?
We're going to stay home, and luckily we're on this side of the state, but we've got things put away that in the yard that would blow around.
Okay, now you've been through a number of storms, probably more than we can count. We don't want to take all the time going over them, but what's your impressions of how this may go with the way this storm is approaching us?
I think we'll be all right. The only one I would compare this to, I think, would be Wilma, because Wilma came from that same direction and was very strong.
Right.
And when it got here, it was a little stronger than we expected. So to me, with these storms, we've learned, expect the unexpected.
All right, well, be prepared for that then, Bob.
You too. Stay safe.
Stay
I
safe.
know you're out in the middle of it.
All right, you can finish your morning walk. Thanks for stopping by.
All righty, nice to meet you.
All right, so you heard it right there. It's one of the longtime locals here. They're determined to ride it out, but they are taking it very seriously, as of course everybody should. We all need to take what's approaching us seriously.
Yeah.
We're here on Hutchinson Island. We'll be here for most of the morning and follow any developments that turn up. But it's good to see the sun come up.
It is. I hope that translates, Matt. Can I ask you guys, you mentioned, the clouds are moving, the sky looks different even though it is sunrise time. Can you show us up, give us a little pan around what you're talking about? I want to see what you're seeing.
Yeah, sure. Actually, you know what? It's quite pretty. If we go right above the roof of this commercial building, I mean, there's some really pretty colors that are right now out there. But, we knew the clouds were there because we had the on and off rain all morning, actually, since we first arrived here at about 2 a.m. So we knew the clouds were there, but, we had the nice breeze. But the change of scenery is kind of nice, and you can actually see these clouds. They're not terribly menacing at this point, but they are moving, and they are moving fast if you kind of look at them close. But some real pretty colors, though.
It is beautiful, beautiful.
The contrast there with the sunrise and then the boarded up buildings, so
Yeah.
we know what's to come.
But just menacing enough that we know
Right.
that it is not your normal sunrise. Matt, thank you for that.
Thank you, Matt. All right, let's get to Johan right now. A look at Onion River Estates. Okay, this is where we found our Brook Chow most of the morning with that flooding. Johan, from your perspective, you can see a lot more. Talk to us.
Yeah, we can't actually talk to Johan right now. We're working on that, but we can get a good view of his pictures right here. This is interesting, too, because from our view with Brook Chow on the ground there, Indian River Estate, St. Lucie County, we could see the flooding. We could see the water up to people's front door. Johan was just giving us the high above view there, and then he gave us a little peek at that sunrise that Matt Sesney was showing us too.
I'd like to see that. Our Indian River Estates and parts of St. Lucie County still dealing with those inundated yards and roads with water ahead of Milton. We'll see how it looks during and after the storm as well.
All right, we want to move to West Palm Beach now, where our Tyler Hatfield's posted up.
Tyler, behind you are the heroes of the day when the power's out and you see them coming to your neighborhood, right?
Yeah, Mike, I mean, we've been talking about flooding, we've been talking about wind, but when that power goes out during this storm, and FBL says that they are pretty certain it will, these people, these local and out-of-state heroes are here to help. Now, they have been stationed here at the Palm Beach County Fairgrounds, and there's going to be over 14,000 of them from 37 states. And it's not just FPL. An FPL spokesperson said they're teaming up with other restoration companies to help get the job done. Because like that FPL said, they are certain that parts of Treasure Coast and parts of Palm Beach County, we may lose power. So these people, again, they're the local out-of-state heroes. They are here to help. Now they're going to be working around the clock, through that rain, through that wind, to help to try to keep your power back on. But I mean, it is a really cool sight to see all these trucks here. You can see some of them have already been rolling out of the fairgrounds already, but we're going to keep you updated and see what else is going to go on here. But I'm going to send it back to you guys.
We know there's a lot of anxiety right now as these final preps are being made, but what you just showed us, Tyler, you know, so many people, so many resources at the ready. It is somewhat settling to know there are a lot of people that have our backs.
Likely the calm before the storm for them as well, for sure. Thank you, Tyler.
WPTV, we are committed making sure you're prepared ahead of Hurricane Milton so you can make the best decisions for you and your family. Our team is spread out, covering every bit of South Florida and elsewhere in the state too, where we know we'll see impacts.
All right, right now, 7:17, going to come back with more coverage of Hurricane Milton and the local impacts we are expecting.
We'll be right back.
When it comes to keeping your home cool and comfortable, Evans Air Conditioning knows there's no room for compromise. That's why we've been your trusted HVAC and indoor air quality specialists since 2002.
Thank you for calling Evans Air Conditioning.
With straightforward pricing and free system replacement quotes, our licensed and insured technicians will keep you cool and comfortable. Experience quality, comfort, and peace of mind with Evans Air Conditioning. Call us today or visit evans.com.
Let's review. We're not going to talk about traffic or weather. If anyone brings up lawn care, I will handle it. Hosting can be extremely difficult for young homeowners turning into their parents.
Oh, are you done with this? I'll just take that.
Okay. He's still drinking.
Oh, look what the cat...
Nope. Nope. Let's try again. You wouldn't mind? It gets ugly. You can either take it off or I'll take it off you. Yeah.
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
You loved it. Take it.
Welcome to Homestead Miami, your home for the racing high life. A track as vibrant and colorful as South Florida. Come for the sun, stay for the speed. An Xfinity and Craftsman Truck Series Playoffs doubleheader on Saturday. A Cup Series Playoffs showdown on Sunday. There's something for everyone. Cuisine, culture, competition, and it's all caliente.
Hell of a job, guys.
We believe our culture is welcoming to all, but what do Jess and Jen think?
Oftentimes we have to do our research beforehand to determine whether or not it's a safe space. The local people of Tahiti were so surprisingly, genuinely friendly. We felt really welcome and nothing but embraced. It was amazing.
We're going to be talking about this for the rest of our life.
Everyone will feel treasured in the islands of Tahiti.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are tracking Milton right here. We are scanning all parts of our viewing area, the state as well. This is coming to us from a Scripps sister station, Southwest Florida, Fort Myers area. This is Marco Island. It almost looks like maybe this camera is frozen, though, because you gotta think that the waves, the water would be moving more than that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
Yeah, still a couple of 100 miles out.
Sure.
But listen, that's going to look tremendously different by this time tomorrow
It
morning.
speaks to the cliche, the calm before the storm. That is very calm as we're talking about, a landfall today, late today into tomorrow.
And it's deceptive. So while we might not see the impact there right now, listen, we're starting to see things in Vero Beach. Our Kate Hussey, I hope she can hear us, that she's at a gas station there, and we're hearing something about that gas station.
Yeah, I'm sure you have too, Kate, with your crew. We've been making sure our gas tanks are filled up, right?
Yep.
Where you're at, how are they doing? How's the supply?
Well, I want to actually show you the supply here. We're at the Wawa off US 1 in Vero Beach. You can see it's already cautioned off. That's the case for most of these pumps because there simply is no fuel left. I want to actually show you over here. People are still taking advantage of the ethanol that still exists at this gas station, filling up their own cans for generators and such. You can see a lot of cars already parked, getting supplies. Other pumps that we've I want to show you this one here are actually zip tied because again, look at this message here telling viewers or telling customers here this fuel is temporarily unavailable. All that's really left is ethanol, and
we're having some trouble. We're losing Kate. It's obviously freezing, but you get the gist. You see those signs and fuel is running low. It does cause some anxiety.
You got to pack the patience when you're going out to get gas today as a whole. Just know that. Take it easy, folks.
Yeah, while we're talking about the essentials, the things we need, gas, we just got a snapshot of that from Kate Hussey. I had a lot of run around yesterday to find water, and let me tell you, if you're out of luck going to the grocery stores to just stock up on some bottled water or distilled water, as I was on the hunt for sinus rinses, convenience stores and pharmacies are the way to go.
Yep, I believe Kate does have a driver there right now we want to talk with about that gas station.
Any issue getting gas at all throughout Vero Beach?
Not yet. Not everyone has it at the same time, but I'm sure they're going to bring some more in.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we heard the governor say that he was going to, dispatch more fuel to gas stations throughout the area. I'm sure that's probably a relief for people like you.
Well, I have a Tesla, so I only need it for my generator, but I'm sure my energy source may give out soon.
We've seen a lot of people come here to the gas station. It's been kind of crazy, people in and out. What have you seen?
No, there's been some lines, but people have been patient. I was in a line getting propane. It was like 10 deep, but everybody's having a good time.
That's great, Richard. Anything else to add?
No, but I think people should get prepared for after the storm, get their chainsaws ready and all the other tools that they can help other people.
Aside from getting gas for your generator, what else have you been doing to prepare?
Well, I've been fixing a lot of generators. Seems like generators don't work all the time, so fixing a lot of generators today.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Richard. It was a pleasure to meet you. Good luck and be safe. Thank you. You too.
Kate Hussey for us there live in Vero Beach. Listen, some of the gas stations running out of gas. I saw a zip tie on one of the handles, so along with some signs saying you need to go elsewhere for the time being until that fuel comes.
Yeah, as we're talking about, Milton and the track, we do have a couple important reminders we want to put in front of you right now. If you haven't already, you need to visit our WPTV Hurricane Prep Guide. It is not too late by way of preps for a lot of things. It's packed with information, Mike. One thing I want to point out, all the list of emergency contact numbers that you might need, as Milton makes landfall and in the days to come after.
All right, much more on Milton. We're going to also talk with our meteorologist when we come right back after a quick break.
All right, sandworms out of the basement and the furnace has been exercised. Another Progressive Home and Auto bundle fully protected from the unexpected.
Beetlejuice caused quite a ruckus, huh?
Jamie, don't say his name.
Beetlejuice?
Saying his name 3 times is how you summon him.
Right. What if I say other words in between? Does that restart it?
Don't overthink it.
Or what if I broke it up into 2 parts? Like someone said, what's your favorite bug? Beetle. What's your favorite morning beverage? Juice.
You're welcome.
Beetlejuice in theaters now.
Welcome to Homestead Miami, your home for the racing high life. A track as vibrant and colorful as South Florida. Come for the sun, stay for the speed. An Xfinity and Craftsman Truck Series playoffs doubleheader on Saturday. A Cup Series playoffs showdown on Sunday. There's something for everyone. Cuisine, culture, competition, and it's all caliente.
Hell of a job, guys.
Know what makes me nervous? It's not that this place has a filing system from the 80s.
90s.
It's that they have my social. And the rental place that gave us the wrong car has a copy of my driver's license. The online store that was just breached has my payment info.
Think of all the places that can expose your info. LifeLock monitors millions of data points for identity theft. If there's a problem, we fix it. Sign up during open enrollment.
To celebrate being voted the #1 paver company in South Florida, Deck and Drive is giving away a $15,000 paver makeover to a lucky winner. It's easy to enter. Just text the word at the bottom of your screen to 909090 for your chance to win. Text now.
Sorry, honey, it's a work thing. Mine's also a work thing. I just need someone to cover my shift.
So is mine. Alan says your business vehicle is now covered with Progressive.
Protected 24/7, just like your home and auto.
Oh, that's great.
So dinner time's just phone time now?
Sorry. You know, I heard that ground turkey is the healthiest poultry.
You know what? Never mind. Just be on your phones.
Thank you.
Welcome to Homestead Miami, your home for the racing high life. A track as vibrant and colorful as South Florida. Come for the sun, stay for the speed. An Xfinity and Craftsman Truck Series playoffs doubleheader on Saturday. A Cup Series playoffs showdown on Sunday. There's something for everyone. Cuisine, culture, competition, and it's all caliente.
Hell of a job, guys.
All right, third time's a charm. Here we go. It's okay. We'll get on the next one.
Pressure's getting to him.
Maybe we should change it up.
Now I got it.
Keenum, get loose.
Here we go. Daddy's got this.
Hey, you got us this far. Keenum's gonna finish the drive.
You got it. Yeah. Okay.
If only there were backups in real life. But at least there's Progressive to protect your home and auto.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are tracking Milton a couple hours past now when the latest advisory major update came out. That was 5 a.m.
5 a.m. and we found that 12 hours to cross the state. That's how long it's going to take this storm, and then but still hundreds of miles out there in the Gulf.
Yeah, it's a little less than 300 miles southwest of Tampa. So it still has Wells Way before getting here, but that's why, the timing of the landfall is at 2 a.m.
I should say 12 hours once it makes landfall to exit the Atlantic side. So
yeah, exactly.
It's clearing up. We've been talking about it on the commercial breaks a lot.
And our team of weather experts are on this from a lot of different angles. Francis, what are you focusing on?
So I'm going to focus on our local impacts for here at home. I know Jennifer has the track, the where, the when, and as well as a look at the radar right now, because we're seeing a few rain showers across the area and some tornado warnings surrounding home.
Yeah. So let's start off with that. With the radar, we are seeing some rain here at home, but nothing compares to what's further out west and up into central Florida. Now the rain is beginning to really pile up in those areas. For further south, it's just spotty at the moment or isolated. Now take a look. There is a tornado warning, not in our viewing area. This cell right here has now moved in from Collier County into western portions of Hendrick County. This tornado warning is in effect for these areas till 7:45, so another 15 minutes or so it's going to last. Now I'm going to put this loop in motion here because we do expect it to stay away from our viewing area since it's moving from south to north. Okay, so we're not worried about this for us here coming into our side on the east side of Lake Okeechobee, but we do have rain that's coming in. Some of it right now pretty light, but gets intense over also into Vero Beach area, Fellsmere, and then it's kind of quiet, dry, but of course it's still gloomy out there with a lot of cloud cover down south. So this moisture you're seeing right over central Florida is associated with this area right here. And taking a look behind me, there's the center of Milton. It is merging with this rain, so that rain, of course, is going to be put into basically the structure of Milton, and then all of that is going to cross over central Florida. This is why the bulk of the widespread rain is north of the track, essentially. So that's where we're going to see the highest flood threat, essentially widespread flash flooding. Not only, of course, the West Coast is going to deal flooding from storm surge, but that's ocean water flooding, then freshwater flooding from the rain. And that's not just for the West Coast, it crosses all the way to the East Coast as well. Here's just a wider view of what Milton looks like. Notice a pinhole eye kind of shrinking there. It might be weakening a little, maybe going through an eye wall replacement cycle, but still, as of 5 a.m., it's a Category 5 hurricane with max sustained winds of 160 miles per hour. A very strong storm here. Now it's moving towards the northeast direction, could pick up some steam. It's right now moving at 14 miles per hour, but landfall is still forecast to be at 2 a.m. as a Category 4 with maximum sustained winds at 130 miles per hour. Again, that is the center of the cone is located over Bradenton down into the Sarasota area. But of course, there's still that uncertainty, although it's shrinking the closer we get to the timing of landfall, because of course, you're getting closer to that time. The forecast will be more certain. Maybe we could have wobbles here and there, but this is where it looks like landfall will happen. That eye could cross over the Orlando area and then eventually over Melbourne in the Space Coast. And at that point, when it starts to get off the east coast of Florida, just along the coast there at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, this is going to be a while where we're going to have those impacts. But basically the morning into the early afternoon, we're going to have those strongest winds hitting our areas, especially over in the northern Treasure Coast, where we have those warnings of hurricane warnings in Indian River County, as well as St. Lucie County and Okeechobee County. And then later on Friday, going into the weekend, Milton will be racing out into the middle of the Atlantic and downgrading. Now, we do have the threat of tornadoes. I showed the Viper. It's pretty quiet for us in the time being, but we just saw that there are some tornado warnings out on the west side of the lake. So more on that, the severe weather threat. Francis, hey there. So kind of time it out for us. Tell us also like exactly those specific threats throughout today.
Yes, absolutely. And I got a couple good questions on Facebook asking about the tornado threat, the direction. And I will have to say, as those bands move in across the area, what we're seeing this morning due to the winds right now driving from the southeast, we're likely going to see a lot of those tornadoes track towards the northeast, very similar to what we're seeing this morning. But our tornado threat will extend from the west, where those bands are coming from, and moving across, moving across the east, as we are watching again those outer rain bands. But As far as your tornado threat goes for today, we're sitting in an elevated to an enhanced risk. The enhanced risk is that area where you want to be more so concerned about, especially throughout the Treasure Coast, Okeechobee, and as well as parts of St. Lucie County and Indian River County, highlighted there in the enhanced risk. And not only are they highlighted, we do have some etching, and that means there is a threat for seeing a significant tornado within that area there. For Martin and Palm Beach County, you're looking at that elevated risk. So the risk is still not zero for any of us. One thing I also want to touch on are the winds, because not only are we going to expect to see a brief spin up possible, we're going to deal with some really strong winds. We're going to see that wind field has increased by about 125 miles per hour. Tropical storm force winds can be felt from the center of the eye. And we'll notice we're looking at the arrival of those tropical storm force winds along our west coast about 2 o'clock this afternoon. As for us here at home, we're expecting to deal with those tropical storm force winds later this evening, about 7, 8 o'clock for tonight. But one thing I want to track is those hurricane force winds. We're looking at that impact early Thursday morning into the late morning time frame, and we're going to deal with some really strong wind gusts near 75 to even 80 miles per hour, likely throughout the Treasure and as well as the Space Coast before that system moves out of the area. Taking you county by county, we have a tropical storm warning in effect for Palm Beach County. Now the flood watch has been dropped and canceled, so that's some good news as we do have some dry air working with us. Rainfall totals additionally about 1 to 2 inches can't be ruled out, but those wind gusts nearing 65 miles per hour today. Similar story for Martin County. We're looking at wind gusts nearing 70 miles per hour Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Tropical storm warning still is in effect, but we also have a hurricane watch in effect for Martin County too. I don't think this warning is going to get upgraded, but that's something that we'll keep a close eye on. As far as conditions with St. Lucie County, the further north I go, the more elevated your risk is going to be. So talking about wind gusts near 75 miles per hour and additional rainfall totals about 2 to 3 inches. For Indian River and as well as Okeechobee County, similar threat. Wind gusts near 80 miles per hour. We're expecting to see an additional 2 to 4 inches of rainfall possible, and those hurricane warnings remain in effect as well for those two locations. We're going to continue to keep a close eye on the radar as well as that tornado threat, especially later this evening, looking at about 7 o'clock through midnight tonight for that tornado threat.
And you spent a lot of time there talking about the winds and the timing of that, and when that wind is kicking up, you do not want to be on the roads thinking about any last minute preps, right? You got to be safe off the roads. We want to make sure you stay connected with our with our WPTV team through the storm. If you haven't already, download that free WPTV News app. You can follow the updates right there from your phone as it's convenient for you. We also are posting constant updates at WPTV.com.
Listen, you don't want to be caught off guard either. Our hurricane guide right now, you can see it right there. Scan that QR code. Go to WPTV.com as well. You'll find your evacuation zones, valuable information as we are closing in on Milton's approach to the effects of our area.
All right, we want to move to Chopper 5's Johan Hoffen right now. He is above Indian River Estates. Mike, this is an area we have been really honing in on all morning. They're already seeing saturated ground, some flooding even reaching up to people's doors.
Yeah, you can see the bird's eye view right there from Chopper 5 in St. Lucie County. So let's get to Johan right now.
I'm going to be delusional.
And good morning, Mike. And good morning, Ashley. Francis doing a great job with the weather information here. Josh and I in the Indian River Estates. This is Savannah Street and Pine Tree over by the Savannahs here. And you can see right in these sections here, this is where you have some minor flooding, but it's starting to encroach on some houses here in this section. I'll zoom down and show you exactly what we're talking about. This is just a little bit near the Savannahs, and I'll show you where the Savannahs are, but look how close. And this is just from the pre-rain. This is just from the few days of rain that we've had over the past days before actual of a hurricane event, which is going to be in the next few hours. You can see right there the flooding is starting to creep in as the moist and damp fertile soil around this area. Showing you the Savannah spot right here. This is just a little bit south of Fort Pierce to the north of Stewart, and right in that section there is Stewart off into that area right there. So you have Stewart there, you have the river, and here's what we call the Savannah. It's a beautiful section. You got the the water in the savanna type of preserve here. But if you zoom, and I'll zoom back real quickly, there is a beautiful sunrise and the sun coming up over the Atlantic. It was really pretty before the clouds started to take in. That's the FP&L power plant right in this section. So we have a power plant, a nuclear power plant right in the area of Port St. Lucie, and the Fort Pierce is up to the north here. Another section of one of the neighborhoods next to Savannah Street here, that was Savannah Street in that spot right there, is check these out. These are over here just a little bit to the west of Savannah Street, Indian River Estates. These are houses in the Indian River Estates, and you can see the retention ponds, you can call them, or just the ponds, and they are pretty much up to the top. And that is, that's a little bit scary before a hurricane. You never want to see it when they're that close to a household. I mean, that is just feet from the back porches, but you can see a lot of these people do have their shutters up, and they are ready in the area of Indian River Estates. Of course, before and during, we give you continuous coverage here on WPTV News, and then after the effects of the hurricane, Josh and I should be up giving you some aerials to hopefully show you not major damage as we cross our fingers, but you can see all the retention ponds, especially in Port St. Lucie, Indian River, even in the Palm Beaches. We've checked out these type of ponds. They're ponds, they're little, lake communities and stuff like that, but they do help in the drainage process. When the rains come, all that extra water is put into these as a help to alleviate the high waters. And look at that right there. I mean, those are getting up there, and they're only going to increase as the hours progress. That's a quick check of breaking news and some spots of Indian River Estates and Port St. Lucie. Johan Hoffman, back to you.
Yeah, that is a view you will only see right here. Our reporters were bringing us the ground level view, Indian River Estates, but to see it above really puts it in perspective.
Yeah, and south of where Johan and our Brooke Chow was earlier, Jensen Beach, that's where we find our Michael Hoffman, still wading through that water that's just kind of standing there from earlier.
Michael, what are you seeing right now?
Well, as the sun has risen here in Jensen Beach, the water level has not gone down at all. There's a lot of water all over the place. You can see I'm actually standing in a parking lot right now. This is a parking spot that I'm standing in. You can't really see it under all this water. All morning today, we've been driving around. We've been seeing not just this parking lot, but the residential neighborhoods very nearby on Ocean Drive underwater. The streets, the driveways, people's lawns, completely underwater. And for that reason, the county has closed a lot of the schools to make way for shelters. We have a lot of different shelters around here in Martin County at David Anderson Middle School, Willoughby Learning Center, Port Salerno Elementary School, and Warfield Elementary School. And even more recently, we're hearing about bridge closures. The Hobe Sound Bascule and the old Roosevelt bridges will be locked in the down position. The old Roosevelt Bridge was locked at 7 a.m., and the Hobe Sound Bascule Bridge will be locked at 8:30. Large boats will be unable to travel north or south in the Intercoastal Waterway or east and west in the Okeechobee Waterway. It's not going to be impacting traffic. Now, just like our meteorologists and reporters and our anchors have been saying, it is not too late to prepare for this weather. When we were on our way up here, the gas stations were pretty much empty. Still had a lot of gas here in Martin County. So take the opportunity, get out, get your supplies. Do not drive in water like this. It's very dangerous. Do yourself a favor, play it safe, get what you need, stay home, and just play it safe.
Yeah, Michael Hoffman reporting live right there. We did have a social media comment come in just a few minutes ago from a woman named Amanda, and she asked the very question Michael just addressed. Is it too late to evacuate? The answer is no, and be safe. Michael, thank you.
There we go. All right, let's get T.A. Walker has been up and down our coastline this morning in Palm Beach County specifically. Earlier, he was showing us those FPL crews, and I wonder where he is now in West Palm Beach.
Tia, you are following more crews, and we just have to take a quick pause to say thank you to these crews. Hard at work now. We know they will continue that well after this storm has made landfall.
Let me show you some things, guys. Across the street from me is the Palm Beach Kennel Club's north parking lot. That's where FPL stages people and equipment before a storm. They did that today, and they were set to get underway. Most of the drivers thought they were taking trailers like this one that houses 16 people. It's like a mobile city for FPL workers. When they're addressing the power issues, they come home to trucks that have food, water, restrooms, sleeping quarters. And they were getting underway today about 7 o'clock, and we started following them. And then they turned around and they came right back here to the side of the street because they're waiting on word of where they're going. They don't know if they're going back up to Vero Beach where they were yesterday, or if they're going down to Miami because they need to stage here before so the storm can pass, so then they can respond to wherever the power outages are. Now, these are made up of contracted employees. These drivers are for the fire department, police department, small business owners, tow truck drivers, and most of them came down from the panhandle area of the state of Florida. And we're waiting on the side of the road with them, Ashley and Mike, trying to figure out which direction they're headed.
Yeah, right there following this journey. And again, one we are so appreciative of all these people hard at work.
Yeah, we go right into a trouble spot. Just like fire crews go right into a dangerous way, they're going to the trouble spot to repair and get back up to normal. All right, thank you, TA.
Okeechobee County's Utility Authority, we need to give you a heads up here, issuing a boil water advisory beginning at 8 a.m. So in about 15 minutes, it gets started until further notice.
We'll stay in Okeechobee County right now. Victor Jorges, he is at near Lake Okeechobee, kind of setting the scene for us there, under a hurricane warning right now.
All right, Victor, as you kind of give us a view around the lake, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, well, I can tell you, it's pretty hard to believe that in 24 hours, this space where I'm standing will have gone through very different, phases as Milton kind of makes its way in this area. But we're tracking the lake not only after Helene, but again, ahead of the storm. So what we know so far, and I want to go in depth here, is that Lake Okeechobee, the level there is around 15.5 feet. That's according to the Army Corps of Engineers. So they tell us that's about 6 inches lower than it was this time last year. Now the Army Corps says they will not release any water from the lake ahead of the storm. They tell us Hurricane Helene did not bring much rain over the lake or our area, so the lake has the capacity to accept water from this upcoming storm. Now the mayor here in Okeechobee says the Army Corps of Engineers ensured him that the lake would not flood and that they sounded very confident. That's what he said. However, the wind, of course, is still a main concern. Another concern this morning, preparations still on their way. We actually just spoke to a lineman who says he's soaking up every second he has with his family at home right now before he himself has to be deployed to help other communities. Take a listen.
Usually I'm the first one out and preparing, sitting in the eye of the storm, but this time we're all right. I'm going to be sitting with her and the baby, and once the storm hits, like I said, I'll be taking off. I could have came earlier, in the earlier past 2 days to get some wood, but it's been a little hectic, but it's a little bit better now in the morning,
Yeah, so again, we just met up with him at the Home Depot here in Okeechobee. We still saw some wood supplies. There were plenty of batteries left, of course, still some water, so the time to prepare is now. So here we are at this hotel right by Lake Okeechobee. As you can see there on your screen, catastrophe team trucks, and we are actually seeing those spread out throughout the parking lot here, so we're not exactly sure where they'll be headed to next, but there is, I would say, dozens of these trucks ready to be deployed. Again, we keep saying it over and over, the time to prepare is now. We are expecting the conditions to worsen, of course, as the day goes on into tonight and tomorrow morning. So you still have some time to get the supplies you need, make sure that all your loved ones are safe, and stay with us. We'll get through the storm together, guys.
Yeah, got to take advantage of that time. The window is closing for the preps, but we're still in it.
You got that right. And we saw, Victor there at the Okeechobee County shelter as well. So people still taking time to evacuate and get that. You do have a little bit of time, but listen, it's not on your side right now. So the county did set up a community information call line. Take a snapshot of this if you're listening in, living in Okeechobee County, 863-824-6888. Ask them your questions, anything there. It's open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. daily.
And our crews peppered everywhere, so you really get a view of what's happening all throughout our viewing area. Right now, we want to go to Kayla McDermott.
Yeah, in Wellington for us right now. What's the scene like there, Kayla?
Yeah, you guys, you were just talking about prep work, and I can show you now the sun has come up. 2 major prep works that's been going on all week. You can see those 2 pumps. There's 5 of them in the village that have been dumping gallons of water in preparation for this area, possibly getting 4 to 6 inches of rain from this storm. But the village manager said what you're seeing here is actually quite risky, because while this water is coming out of the nearby canals and the lake, as we head into the dry season, if we don't get as much rain as we're anticipating, there is some drought-like conditions in that dry season. But the village manager said they're willing to take that risk of having those drought-like conditions rather than having all of this flood, have our canals flood, and have everything that you see me be underwater. Back to you guys.
All right, Kayla McDermott reporting live for us in Wellington this morning. Kayla, you be safe too. As the sun's coming up, you're getting a better view of what's going on around you. We'll check back in a little bit.
We do get an 8 a.m. update. I'm just seeing if that's come in yet. You both were back in the weather center.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Sometimes they drop a little early, but we see
Yeah.
that more with the major ones, right?
And there's another storm out there. Anyway, so the
Well, I did have a social media comment come in about that, and I hesitated to ask you what they could be talking about. Is there another storm behind Milton?
Oh, no. I'm talking about another named storm in the Atlantic. So National Hurricane Center has their hands full. I mean, they're having to put out advisories for other named storms in the Atlantic. Plus, when it comes to Milton, they are working with each advisory, finding out the stats, right? Updating those stats, updating location, all of that. So
back to this,
it takes
Leslie
time.
is a thing to worry
It's
about?
out in the
or-
Atlantic.
That's what I
No,
thought.
looks to
Leslie
lift
and Perth,
northward. We won't be impacted.
I think the woman's name was Erin that was asking about that. So Erin, I hope you're still with us.
I know
and
what
heard
Erin
that.
is talking about. It's something that the GFS showed a few days ago, and it was on social media, but too soon to talk about something like that. And you know what? The latest models didn't even show anything developing. So.
And we will reveal things you need to be concerned about, which is what we're doing right now.
Of course.
Sure.
You two are tag teaming too, Francis. What's your focus right now? What are you
Absolutely.
researching?
So I really want to just focus on what we're going to expect here at home. I know we have that updated track. You know, we are understanding that we're going to be dealing with Milton moving across the state for over a course of 12 hours, and if we should expect to see anything different.
Yeah, it's a big window when we think 12 hours, Jen.
I know. It's just, I think about just the extent of the damage for Florida. Yeah. It's heartbreaking, so.
All right.
All right, well, let's get to, it looks like the radar, the rain coming in, right?
We do. So now on the lower end of this radar, you see a red box on the bottom edge in the middle here. So this box is a tornado warning, but that is actually for inland Broward. It's not over cities, but we'll have to watch this one because if this one holds together, it's going to cross Alligator Alley, and if it gets into Palm Beach County, then we're going to be tracking that. So for now, Palm Beach County up through the Treasure Coast, Okeechobee County, we're just having bits of light rainfall. Damp conditions out there, certainly gloomy, a lot of cloud cover. Let's go ahead and talk about, though, the rest of the morning on the Vipercast. You're going to see some rain possible out ahead of the rain bands, but really, we're going to get into this quiet bit of a break from the wet weather. Now, we can still, of course, have some rain developing, but when it comes to the rain bands associated with Milton, that will arrive later this afternoon. Looks like we'll have a weak one swinging through during lunch hour into the 2 o'clock hour in the Treasure Coast, while heavy rain piles up out further west. Basically, this is from the Highlands out into Polk County. There's another rain band. This is 4 o'clock, so potentially around 4 o'clock with a rain band setting up. And by the way, the Vipercast early this morning, the run wasn't showing this at all. It showed the major band arriving not until the evening, but we could have a few, as you see, earlier than that. So around lunch hour, then 4 o'clock, then 7 o'clock, we'll have another rain band come in. But in between these rain bands, there's going to be dry air. So it won't be raining the entire time today or into tonight. But again, the rain bands are going to come in quickly. They're going to spark the tornado threat. And that tornado threat already exists from this morning. So we're going to be dealing with those impacts throughout today. Now, I do want to show you this Friday. We don't completely dry out because what's going to happen, winds quickly turn out of the northeast, could grab piece of moisture off the Atlantic and give us some rain throughout Friday. Then later Friday, we start to quiet things down. Back to that severe threat, here is the outlook on that for today, including into this evening tonight. It is enhanced across much of the central part of the state, but look at this, enhanced for Indian River County, St. Lucie County, and Okeechobee. So we're going to be keeping an eye out on that radar for any of those warnings. And of course, I'll be tracking that one thunderstorm down in Broward. But let's talk to you, Francis. You're going to show us more about those wind impacts.
Yes, absolutely. So we are dealing with the threat of dealing with some tornadoes. We also have some strong winds that we're going to experience, and we're looking at the winds increasing throughout the day today. We could expect to see some wind gusts nearing 40 miles per hour as early as 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we really will feel the force of tropical storm force winds by about 8 o'clock tonight. As far as those hurricane force winds, we'll likely feel that closer towards daybreak Thursday morning. Check this out. Near 63 miles per hour in Sebastian, and likely dealing with some other wind speeds near about 50 to even 60 miles per hour throughout the areas. This is only just one shorter range model, so I wouldn't rule out some areas seeing some stronger wind gusts near even 75 to 80 miles per hour for Indian River, St. Lucie, and as well as Okeechobee counties. So that's where we have those hurricane warnings in effect. But it is going to be an awfully windy day today. I just want to time things out for you by our areas. So for Palm Beach County, this afternoon into the evening time frame, looking at those wind speeds, again, continuing to increase. I just showed you we are looking at wind gusts nearing 30 to even 40 miles per hour, an additional 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. And for the Treasure Coast, similar story, expecting to see those stronger wind gusts, about 30 to 55 miles per hour for the afternoon, as we do have one band that looks to move across the area. But I'm most concerned about later this evening into the overnight time frame. Our winds will be strongest tonight into early tomorrow morning, and then we also have a few of those stronger bands, and that's going to lead to that tornado threat. So for Palm Beach County, looking at wind gusts up to 65 miles per hour. For the Treasure Coast, can expect to see some wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour.
All right, meteorologist Francis Payton bringing us the latest right there. We are about to kind of reset, regroup for the 8 a.m. hours. We track Milton.
Get that 8 a.m. advisory. Stick around after the break.
I know. Do you think I wouldn't see it? Go in the house and take it off. Give me the spatula. All right.
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
No dad jokes!
Hi, I'm Sloan Smith. We love our Florida sunshine, but a hot house? Definitely not. At All Year, we offer same-day AC and plumbing service and installation. Zero down financing? Yes, all year. Need help today? Yes, all year. Need plumbing help? Yes, all year. We're South Florida's #1 for comfort because our family is serving your family all year. Call us today at 833-ALL-YEAR. That's 833-ALL-YEAR.
When it comes to keeping your home cool and comfortable, Evans Air Conditioning knows there's no room for compromise. That's why we've been your trusted HVAC and indoor air quality specialists since 2002.
Thank you for calling Evans Air Conditioning.
With straightforward pricing and free system replacement quotes, our licensed and insured technicians will keep you cool and comfortable. Schedule now for Evans' $59 summer tune-up. Evans, getting you the comfort you deserve.
What happened to no phones at the table?
Sorry, honey, it's a work thing.
Yep, work over here too. Got a text from Alan saying your business vehicle is now protected with Progressive.
Just like your home and auto. Why'd you text it? I thought that's what we were doing.
Hi, I'm Sloan Smith. We love our Florida sunshine, but a hot house? Definitely not. At All Year, we offer same-day AC and plumbing service and installation. Zero down financing? Yes, all year. Need help today? Yes, all year. Need plumbing help? Yes, all year. We're South Florida's #1 for comfort because our family is serving your family all year. Call us today at 833-ALL-YEAR. That's 833-ALL-YEAR.
Tracking Milton this morning, what could be a once-in-a-century storm closing in on us from Florida's Gulf Coast. We are now less than 24 hours out from Milton's landfall.
Yeah, you know, evacuation orders growing more and more urgent as this morning moves on. We're here with you, getting you the very, very latest. You need to know this if you're in Okeechobee County waking up. There's a boil water advisory just went into effect. Yeah, it starts at 8 o'clock. A boil water advisory, the county's utility authority issuing it, and that's until further notice right now.
All right, we want to begin with our first alert meteorologist right now teaming up as they track Milton and tracking the impacts we'll feel here locally. We know things are changing just a tad bit.
And we know this because of the new 8 a.m. advisory just came out, a little update. What are we seeing there? We'll start with Jen.
All right, so basically now the center located 250 miles southwest of Tampa, and it is moving towards the northeast. It has accelerated to 16 miles per hour, and it did downgrade to a 4 from a 5 to a 4, but not by much because the max sustained winds are at 155 miles per hour. So that is right on the threshold of a strong Cat 4, almost a 5. Also, the central minimum pressure has increased, so that is showing some signs of weakening, but it's just not weakening fast enough. So landfall is still projected to happen at 2 a.m. Thursday, so Wednesday night to Thursday, but the weather is deteriorating for the West Coast now moving forward, meaning those preps, especially for the West Coast or any evacuation orders, must be done this morning. I would say just right now, don't wait any longer. So if you have family and friends, make sure that they got their stuff done to completion this morning. Then during the late morning afternoon, conditions will just worsen, and they will just obviously get worse through the night as Milton makes that landfall again 2 a.m. Thursday as a Category 4 crosses from east to west coast Florida, or from west coast to east coast Florida, excuse me. Then eventually going down to a Cat 1, making that exit, but at 2 p.m. So, all right, I hear that we have a press conference going on. I'm going to toss it back to you guys.
All right, let's listen in. They are under a hurricane warning.
All right, it seems like we might be having some audio difficulties here, so we are going to try and work that out if that is on our end, and we will dip back in.
Well, they're at the Emergency Operations Center there in the county.
And you know what? One of the things about all of the counties is they have been really efficient and really detailed about trying to make sure that they pass along that information to the public. So we're going to work on that. Let me, in the meantime, though, if we can ask our producer, can we go ahead and go back to Jennifer?
We're going to still kind of stick with this to see if we can get the audio going. In St. Lucie County this morning.
Ready to serve.
There we go. Let's listen in.
As soon as the storm passes. We are asking the residents to please minimize their movements around the county today. Remain calm and be patient. The residents of St. Lucie County are an amazing community, and we always come together in times like this and help each other out, and we'll do the same this time. Thank you. Now I'll turn it over to Public Safety Director Ron Guerrero.
Thank you, County Administrator Landry. Good morning, everyone. As of 5 a.m. this morning, Hurricane Milton is a Category 5 with maximum sustained winds which are near 160 miles per hour. Currently, Milton is about 450 miles southwest of the city of Fort Pierce. It is forecast to make landfall as a Category 4 hurricane at around 2 a.m. Thursday morning near Sarasota. We'll be experiencing heavy rain and thunderstorms throughout the day today. Winds will begin to pick up this afternoon and into the evening and remain throughout the night and into the day tomorrow. As we continue to monitor the system, we'll be making a decision on whether to shut down the bridges to North and South Hutchinson Island later this morning. And as a reminder, we currently have 3 shelters open. First one is the Fort Pierce Westwood Academy, which is a general population and pet-friendly shelter, and is located at 1801 Panther Lane in Fort Pierce. Treasure Coast High School, which is also a general population and pet-friendly shelter, and is located at 1000 Southwest Darwin Boulevard in Port St. Lucie. And our third shelter is our special medical needs shelter at the Havre L. Fenn Center, which is located at 2000 Virginia Avenue in Fort Pierce. As a reminder, these shelters are places of last resort. Those who live in low-lying areas or mobile homes, as well as those who are in Hutchinson Island and don't feel safe, are encouraged to shelter with friends and families where they will feel most comfortable. But we also have the opportunity of having you in one of our shelters. Now is the time to complete your family emergency plan and ensure that your emergency kit with the basic necessities such as water, food, batteries, flashlights, and medicines is completed. Stay informed. Continue to stay informed through using local media, the county officials, and trusted sources like our county website at stlucieco.gov and our social media at stlucie.gov. Also, you can sign up for our Alert St. Lucie at stlucieco.gov/alert. Additionally, for any questions or concerns regarding Hurricane Milton, we have established a dedicated public information line, and our team is available from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day and throughout the duration of this event. That number is 772-460-4357. Again, that number is 772-460-4357. And obviously, if there's an emergency, please dial 911. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. We'll now hear from Division Chief Michaels.
Thank you, Administrator Landry. The fire district is remaining normal operations so far today. We will be increasing our staffing levels through our 17 response stations. Like I said yesterday, we have 3 additional high water vehicles, and we're also staffing some of our specialty trucks, our heavy rescues, 1 off Midway Road and 1 in Tradition. I want to echo again what Director Guerrero said of having a supply kit with you. Medicines, waters, batteries, flashlights, those things. I focused on fire safety yesterday. If you're using a generator, please have that in a well-ventilated area. Have working smoke alarms. Should we lose power, that way you have the battery backup still. When using that generator and going to refuel it, please turn off that generator. Have a fire extinguisher available to you. Use grills. If you're using a portable grill or propane grills, have those in well-ventilated areas again. Right now, the 3 big hospitals, HCA Longwood, HCA St. Lucie Medical, and Cleveland Clinic and Tradition, those are all open. However, the standalone ERs through HCA, the one off in Vero off of US 1 and the one Darwin in Darwin Square, those are closed. The Cleveland Clinic standalone off 1095 St. Lucie West Boulevard, is still open. So, again, please have a plan, know what you're going to do, and stay updated through all the social media and the alerts that the county and cities are providing. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. We'll now hear from School Superintendent Dr. John Prince.
Good morning. I'm John Prince, Superintendent of Schools for St. Lucie County. Currently, we have 2 shelters open, as George and Ron mentioned. A decision point is going to occur this morning with regards to school on Friday. That's going to be based on our consultations with the Emergency Operations Center and how long the shelters need to remain open. But we anticipate by noon today making a decision about Friday. We want to make sure that families get that information before we have any potential power outages, and that we have a clear line of communication with our families and our parents. I want to also remind the public Monday was a previously scheduled teacher workday. That is unchanged. Monday is still a non-contact day for our students. Once again, we're going to make an announcement later this morning with regards to school on Friday. I want to wish our community members on the West Coast good luck and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prince. We'll now hear from Clint Sperber, Department of Health.
Thank you, Mr. Landry. And I am going to follow suit with what Chief Michael said about sheltering. And when we look at hospitals, hospitals are not a last resort. They should not be used as a shelter. We are at a point at this storm where if you have not made any arrangements yet to go anywhere, we do have the special needs shelter that is going to be open for you. You do not need to pre-register. However, if you do need transportation, transportation is going to run till 12 p.m. for pickup. What you can do is dial 772-462-1778, and that's extension 1. They could arrange transportation for you. If you do go to our special needs shelter, there are a few items that are required and mandatory for you to bring. You have to have your medications with you. If you have any medical equipment that you normally would use, such as electronic equipment, or if you're oxygen dependent, bring that with you. If you have any special dietary foods that you normally would use, bring that with you. And also have photo identification, your insurance card, any emergency contacts. It's just very important that you have that identification with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Clint. We'll now hear from St. Lucie County Board of County Commissioners Vice Chair Chris Sadowski, who also serves as the St. Lucie County Fire District Chair.
Good morning. Good morning. On behalf of Board Chair Kathy Townsend, we're here today with our commissioners. Commissioner Fowler is here as well. I want to say good morning. I hope that you have been able to move forward with your managing your own personal situations at home. We would tell you that having been here to the Emergency Operations Center for many years, this is the first time I think I've seen over 50 counties be interrupted by a storm such as this. I will share that my observations with the state, Governor DeSantis and his crew and all at the state have been doing a great job keeping us informed, keeping us engaged. Although we know that Tampa and the West Coast is largely the focus area, we have been able to secure and communicate very well with the state. So we're grateful for the state's operation and what they're doing to help us. So please be safe. I will share with you, having watched local television, I see a lot of folks driving around and kids playing in the stormwater. If you live in Indian River Estates, if you live in Lakewood Park, you have a lot of septic tanks. Those septic tanks are likely to fail with the amount of water that's in the system. As that water rises, whatever is in your leach field is likely in those stormwater. So I would highly suggest that you don't let your children play in the stormwater as a health risk. That being said, please be safe and prepare.
Thank you, Vice Chair. We'll now hear from Teresa Lamar Cerno, Assistant City Manager for City of Port St. Lucie.
Good morning. As Hurricane Milton continues to advance towards our region, the City of Port St. Lucie has activated its Emergency Operations Center and is preparing for any storm-related impacts it could bring to the area. As a reminder, all city facilities are closed and will remain closed through Thursday, October 10th. Public Works has been drawing down water in retention ponds and canals for several days. There has been a significant and consistent amount of rain falling during the same time period. As a result, there is a good chance that additional rainfall from Hurricane Milton will cause water to temporarily pool in the roadways. We ask residents to use caution when driving in rain or wet conditions. Please note that water will remain in swales for up to 7 days. If water takes longer than that to recede, please contact our 1PSL customer service system at 772-871-1775 or through the 1PSL app. As a reminder, trash pickup will continue as scheduled today. The City of Port St. Lucie's contracted trash hauler, FCC Environmental Services, will suspend all garbage recycling, yard, and bulk waste pickup on Thursday, October 10th. Thursday's customers will be collected on Friday, October 11th. Friday's customers will be collected on Saturday, October 12th. The city is prepared and ready for Hurricane Milton. We will continue to update the public on our website, cityofpsl.com/Milton, or on our social media channels. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you, Teresa. We'll now hear from Major Santiago, City of Fort Pierce Police Department.
Good morning. The City of Fort Pierce continues to work diligently in removing debris and clearing sewage lines so as to allow water to flow freely and prevent pooling of water in any particular areas. However, there are dangers that come with these areas. There are areas that are prone to flooding, so we're asking that communities or residents and drivers stay off the roadways, do not drive into flooded areas because there may be chances that there could be down power lines, down trees, or any type of debris that is stuck in that water, which in turn will cause you to get stuck yourselves. It's important that everybody finishes up their preparedness this morning. As the day moves on, we're going to start to see enhancements of wind and rain. So that said, please prepare this morning. For emergencies, dial 911. The City of Fort Pierce Police Department has enhanced its patrol operations. We have pre-positioned assets throughout the city to help with the closing of bridges or closing of roadways that become hazardous. But again, I urge everyone to finish up your preparations this morning and then hunker down. Thank you.
Thank you, Major. As you can see, all agencies in St. Lucie County will be working around the clock until we can get through the storm and resume back to normal operations. For any questions, please contact the public information line at 772-460-4357. Our next news briefing will be at noon, and then we'll have another one at 5 p.m. We're now open for any questions.
I have a question for Mr. Guerrero. You talked about the north-south bridges. What is it? Is the only factor is wind right now, and how much advance notice will the public get?
Our main, like I said, our main concern is the wind. Obviously, we're under hurricane warning, and tropical storms, sustained winds will go all the way up to 73 miles per hour. So obviously, anything over 35, 40 miles per hour that's sustained is a concern to go over that bridge. So we're closely monitoring and in contact with the National Weather Service in Melbourne to get the best and latest available information. So that way we can sit down with our group here and make that determination and provide us ample time of the closures to the residents. So our projection is that by no later than 1 p.m. We should be able to know what the decision is going to be based on that forecast.
Will there be a curfew for any part of the county?
At this time, that's not something that we have decided to do. But obviously, because of the system being so fluid, that's always something we have in consideration. And obviously, speaking with our law enforcement agencies and our cities, that's something that's always out there. But as it stands right now, we're not going to be enforcing any curfews at this time.
Seeing no further questions, thank you. We'll see you at noon.
We do the Spanish?
Oh, sorry. We'll do the Spanish translation and the Creole translation immediately following. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. It looks like one of the key things to come out of that is St. Lucie County now saying a decision perhaps by noon today on schools on Friday, because we know at least 2 schools are being used as
the shelters.
Mm-hmm. We know Martin County already made that decision to go ahead and not have school on Friday. Same kind of setup there. And then earlier in the week, Okeechobee said no school for the rest of the week.
No school for the rest of the week. So we'll see how it pans out. They're going to hold another news conference. You just heard the official say right there at the end of it. Esney was there asking some questions, so you can see we have our reporters spanned out all across the area for you, and that includes St. Lucie County under that hurricane warning this morning.
Yeah, we're going to be back with much, much more. A few changes. We've now seen that shift from a 5 to a Category 4, though barely, so still a very strong storm. We'll talk to our first alert meteorologist after the break.
Alert Weather is sponsored by Evans Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Fox 29 First Alert Weather is sponsored by Evans Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Fox 29 First Alert Weather is sponsored by Evans Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Now, your Fox 29 First Alert Weather, sponsored by Evans Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Get your slice of paradise with Fox 29. October is National Pizza Month and your chance to win pizza for a year. Enter by going to WFLX.com/contest and vote for your favorite pizza place. It's Fox 29 Slice of Paradise.
I know. Do you think I wouldn't see it? Go in the house and take it off. Give me the spatula. All right.
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
No dad jokes.
Extreme couponing getting a little too extreme? That's crazy! Just shop at Bargain Hunt. Bargain Hunt has crazy savings of up to 70% or more on everything from apparel and grocery necessities to personal care and cleaning products. The things you need, prices you'll love.
Bargain Hunt. Amazing brands, crazy savings.
Get your slice of paradise with Fox 29. October is National Pizza Month and your chance to win pizza for a year. Enter by going to WFLX.com/contest and vote for your favorite pizza place. It's Fox 29 Slice of Paradise.
If you're living with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis or active psoriatic arthritis, symptoms can sometimes hold you back. But now there's Skyrizi, so you can be all in with clear skin.
Things are getting clearer. Yeah, I feel free. To do my skin, yeah, that's on me. Nothing is everything.
With Skyrizi, you can show up with 90% clear skin. And if you have psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi can help you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Now's the time. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Fox 29 First Alert Weather is sponsored by Evans Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Fox 29 First Alert Weather is sponsored by Evans Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Now, your Fox 29 First Alert Weather, sponsored by Evans Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Fox 29 First Alert Weather is sponsored by Evans Air Conditioning and Plumbing.
All right, sandworms out of the basement and the furnace has been exorcised. Another Progressive home and auto bundle fully protected from the unexpected.
Beetlejuice caused quite a ruckus, huh?
Jamie, don't say his name.
Beetlejuice?
Saying his name 3 times is how you summon him.
Right. What if I say other words in between? Does that restart it?
Don't overthink it.
Or what if I broke it up into 2 parts? Like someone said, what's your favorite bug? Beetle. What's your favorite morning beverage? Juice.
You're welcome.
Beetlejuice in theaters now.
It's a live look right now at a rainy, gloomy morning in Tampa. Of course, Hurricane Milton squaring down on it right now and expected to make landfall sometime late night tonight. But listen, that's what it looks like live right now on your Wednesday morning.
Looks like they have a little bit of a break in the rain right there. We know Milton will be the second major hurricane to stretch into this area. If you think about it, we're coming up on a week tomorrow since Helene made landfall.
Yeah, so right across Tampa Bay from St. Petersburg, you can see it right there, Bruskin. That's where we find our Joel Lopez with the current conditions. Look like it's really the rain is picking up there, Joel.
Good morning, Mike. Yeah, the rain has been pretty steady all morning. The wind is about what you would expect, nothing out of the ordinary. And like you were mentioning, for some perspective, where we're standing, Tampa Bay, or Tampa is right north of us, St. Pete is just west, and this is a little bit of a coastal town. So if you can see, this is what it looks like. There's a bunch of restaurants and shops. The water line is still below the seawall, but this restaurant here to the left of me right now is slowly starting to put their chairs and tables away. Of course, today's really the last minute time to do all of that. But if we can go to the video that we've sent back in, this is what the town has kind of looked like. When we were driving around, we found this sandwich shop that has boarded up windows saying, "Go away, Milton, God bless us all." But really the most concerning thing that we've seen here in town is just all the debris that we've seen around the streets from homes and businesses, really still cleaning up from that Hurricane Helene that happened just over a week ago. Around this time, and they say that crews have been coming by picking things up, but just as quickly as it's cleared, they come back out and put more trash. Of course, everybody's trying to recover. It's been not a lot of time, and now we have this hurricane coming by, so people are heeding that warning. We have seen a lot of people evacuate, and we spoke to a lot of people yesterday saying they've never seen anything like this. Of course, even emergency crews saying that they're all hands on deck. They've brought in a record number of utility workers on standby, of course, just trying to recover. Everybody's going to wait and see what happens out here by Tampa Bay. So for now, reporting live in Ruskin, Joel Lopez, WPTV News.
You know, something that Joel said I didn't even think about, and I don't think that it's anything that we heard, but as soon as the trash gets picked up, people go and put more down because they're just trying to empty out their house. We know that the state had about 300 garbage trucks collecting all of that debris. There were landfills open 24/7, but from the looks of Joel's video, I mean, you can hardly even tell.
It's still there. That's going to be so dangerous when the wind comes in. You have projectiles flying around the neighborhood. Let's hope there's a plan. I don't know if you know of one, Joel, to get all of that debris in its entirety out of those neighborhoods before landfall.
All right. Joel, thank you so much.
Yeah, like
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, like I was saying, you know, I think crews have already cleared out 27,000 yards of this debris. So even that video shows just how much continuous trash people are trying to clear out. And of course, people are concerned because with those winds, 120 plus mile per hour winds are all going to become projectiles. I know we're even talking about where we're going to sit up later tonight where we're not going to be in the way of that debris because it's just about everywhere in this town still from that hurricane.
Wow, 120 mile an hour per winds. Joel, we've got to let you go, but we're going to try to check back in with you within the hour. Let's go to Jen. You know, we dropped Jennifer to category 4, but 120 mile per hour winds, I mean, that's still really strong.
It is. It's on basically the maximum strength the category 4 can be. So I want to get to the radar quickly because we are tracking this cell, although it's south of our viewing areas. It's actually moving right over Alligator Alley on I-75 between Broward and also Collier County. That's a tornado warned storm. So that tornado warning is basically for these areas. This is something to track. So far it's moving due north. So if it holds together this cell, which could because it's moving pretty fast, we could see this tornado warning be extended and put into effect even for far western portions of Palm Beach County. That is certainly something to watch. Now we're starting to see some other strong cells develop just south of this area. So here we go, starting to get those rain outer bands associated with Milton here. And so I'm going to actually try to zoom out. We do have some rain pushing over Vero Beach, also some light rainfall into western Palm Beach County. So again, we'll be watching that. That is not in our viewing area, but of course it is something we do have to track. I'm going to have a closer look at it here. There it is, and it looks like it's trying to hook right there. That if there is a tornado, basically it would be right in this area of the thunderstorm. So again, we'll be watching it as it moves over Alligator Alley in Broward and Collier counties. Now there are those rain bands setting up. They're starting to enter our areas as far as southern Florida, but in our viewing area, we haven't gotten those outer bands just yet, but eventually we will. So any preps need to be wrapped up and complete momentarily, like now, essentially. You know, you wouldn't want to be out there and caught in a strong storm because these do also develop quickly. Also, with that, we're under a tornado watch through at least tonight. Okay, back to you.
Okay, so the first of, you know, kind of those tornado threats, the warnings that Jennifer mentioned, we're going to see more throughout the day.
We're watching that 1 inch up from the south. So listen, we're going to be right back after a quick break. Hurricane Milton coverage for your morning news.
Another Progressive Home and Auto bundle fully protected from the unexpected.
Beetlejuice caused quite a ruckus, huh?
Jamie, don't say his name.
Oh, relax. You have to say it at least 2 more times.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice in theaters now.
For the record, voiceover guys, 2/3 to blame here.
Generic life have you feeling a little gray? That's crazy. Just shop at Bargain Hunt. Bargain Hunt has the amazing brands that you cannot live without. Save up to 70% or more on brand name food, apparel, home, and pet accessories.
You can't live without these deals. Bargain Hunt. Amazing brands, crazy savings.
Hi, my name is Monica, and I save $1,700 a month with GoodRx. As a single mom, I would take care of my kids first, and I always put my medical needs last. Thanks to GoodRx, I don't have to choose between the two.
Hello, my name is Chad, and I save roughly $1,200 a month using GoodRx. Some medications are over $300, and with GoodRx, they're less than $20. Give GoodRx a try.
Fox 29 First Alert Weather is sponsored by Evans Air Conditioning and Plumbing.
Tracking Milton this morning on part to make landfall later tonight, really overnight at this point. The theory maybe 2 a.m. or perhaps a bit later. In terms of how this affects us locally, I just want to point out that the flood advisory, the flood watch for Palm Beach County has been dropped, but we still see rain periodically throughout the day.
Yep, and listen, as the day kind of starts, we're starting to see businesses open. Some boarded up, not even opening today, but others are. And we want to get to our Kate Hussey. She's in Sebastian this morning. You've been talking with the business owner, how they're kind of coping with and looking ahead for Hurricane Milton.
I absolutely am, Mike. In fact, I'm at the Country Ham and Egg here in Sebastian, where it's a packed house. Take a look. People are fueling up in more ways than one. Of course, fueling up their cars and their generators, but also fueling up after a long day of sandbagging and shuttering their homes. And I want to introduce you to Assistant Manager. This is Tanya Henderson. And Tanya, thanks for joining us here. I understand that you're all hoping to stay open through the storm if you can.
Yes, if we're able to stay open tomorrow, we were all willing to stay here and be open for the community to come in and get something to eat if they needed to, just as long as the weather's safe and the wind's not blowing too hard.
Now, Tanya, talk to me about the overall sentiment out here. Obviously, Indian River County and Sebastian, too, is under a hurricane warning. Is the overall sentiment anxiety, nervousness, hopeful?
Everybody's just prepared. Everybody's putting their shutters up, taking everything inside, and, I mean, everybody's been taking it serious, but, I mean, we're all just hoping for the best, so.
Obviously, we've gotten a lot of rainfall these past couple of days, and, you know, driving throughout Sebastian and Vero Beach, other places of Indian River County, the ground seems pretty saturated. Is that a concern for you guys, potential flooding here at the restaurant?
I think we should be okay here at the restaurant. We haven't flooded before in the past, so I think we should be okay. But it doesn't seem too wet right here right now. So.
One thing I love about Sebastian, whenever we come out here and we report in this community, it is a tight-knit community, and neighbors watch out for each other. And even when we walk inside this restaurant, you can just see neighbors looking out for neighbors, checking in on one another. Would you say that that's kind of the overall sentiment here in this restaurant?
Oh, definitely. Yes, definitely. Everybody in here comes in and supports each other, make sure everybody's okay. Everybody's willing to help if anybody needs help getting things together for the storm. So yes, everybody, it's a good community we have here.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, Tanya, and we're, of course, hoping for the best here in Sebastian and for all the folks eating breakfast here, too. We'll be checking back in with you all later on this morning, but for now, I'll toss it back to you in the studio.
It's nice to see people kind of dining together and getting in a good meal before, you know, whatever comes this way.
Because tomorrow morning could be a lot different. So good they're getting a meal right now and they're open.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, we'll be right back on the other side of this break. More coverage.
alive, our culture is welcoming to all. But what do Jess and Jen think?
Oftentimes we have to do our research beforehand to determine whether or not it's a safe space. The local people of Tahiti were so surprisingly, genuinely friendly. We felt really welcome and nothing but embraced. It was amazing.
We're going to be talking about this for the rest of our life.
Everyone will feel treasured in the islands of Tahiti.
My active psoriatic arthritis can make me feel like I'm losing my rhythm. With Sky Rizzy to treat my skin and joints, I'm getting into my groove. Along with significantly clearer skin, Sky Rizzy helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses. Sky Rizzy attaches to and reduces a source of excess inflammation that can lead to skin and joint symptoms. With Sky Rizzy, 90% clearer skin and less joint pain are possible.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
Thanks to Sky Rizzy, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Now's the time to ask your doctor about Sky Rizzy. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Welcome back, everyone. For those of you joining us now at 8:35, Hurricane Milton still a powerful Category 4 storm. I mean, just barely under that Category 5 threshold by about 2 miles per hour. So really not much of a difference there. Yeah. We are here with you from start to finish, bringing you the latest information. We know Milton is getting closer and closer to landfall.
Listen, maybe you're just waking up. We want to remind you right now, St. Lucie, Indian River, Okeechobee counties, they are under a hurricane warning, while Martin County under hurricane watch. Palm Beach County still remains under that tropical storm warning.
Our WPTV team is spread all throughout the Treasure Coast and Palm Beach County, delivering the very latest information on the hurricane. We also have team weather coverage. Our weather experts, they have just been on top of this every step of the way. First alert meteorologist Jennifer Correa and Francis Payton.
I'm trying to point it out behind me here. I just see all this lightning that's surrounding, and I guess that's what we talk about. There's tornado threats, and even in these outer bands, really severe weather, right?
For sure, yes. The outer bands already reaching the west coast of Florida, even parts of South Florida as well. And those outer bands will trigger the tornadoes, especially because we're going to be now on the northeastern quadrant of the storm. So tornado watch has been put into effect. This does include all of our viewing areas from Indian River County to Okeechobee down through the Palm Beaches. Also, of course, it includes out west coast down into the rest of South Florida. Hail is possible. Also 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, at least associated with the thunderstorms. Of course, the winds will get gustier throughout the day because of the arrival of Milton. But here's a look at a Viper radar. There is a tornado warning, not in our viewing area, but it's further down south. So I'm going to go ahead and try to zoom in. Give me a second here as we track this one cell. If I can zoom in down south, it is, okay, it zoomed too close. Let's go ahead and jump over to my other radar. Here we go. So there's that cell. If it holds together, we'll have to wait and see for the National Weather Service to maybe extend this tornado warning further northward, which means it will cover portions of Palm Beach County, far southwestern portions of Palm Beach County. So we'll have to see. It is basically tracking towards the north. These cells right here, there are some other cells, a couple of them developing further south. So those are actually associated now with the very far outer bands of Milton. There's a few more. These are pretty intense too. They're going to start to hit the west coast pretty soon, maybe in the next hour or less than that even. So we'll be watching it. For the rest of our areas, we're dealing with some light rainfall, as you can see, pushing quickly across the Treasure Coast and inland portions of Palm Beach County. So it's very gloomy out there. It is pretty cloudy. Here's a closer look at the satellite imagery of Milton. I just want to point something out. Look at that eye shrinking. Milton might might be weakening a little bit more, but it's still, as of 8 a.m., a strong category 4 hurricane, maximum sustained winds at 155 miles per hour. It is located roughly 250 miles southwest of Tampa, but it's still moving towards the northeast. It did accelerate a little. Now, this shrinking could either be the eye wall replacement cycle, but also the fact that it is going into a front, it's starting to hit some of that wind shear. So the thinking is that it will still maintain that category 4 status, making landfall late tonight, Thursday at roughly 2 a.m., cutting across from west to east coast of Florida. By 2 p.m., as a category 1, it'll still be edging the coast, basically between the Space Coast down into the Treasure Coast. So it's going to be a long day, a long night, and even a long morning tomorrow into the afternoon. Okay, Francis, show us a little bit more what it looks like out there.
You know, it's funny. We're starting off this morning, few showers across the area. I have a live look towards Vero where we're just dealing with a few clouds across the area. So if you do need to get anything wrapped up or have one little task still left on the checklist, right now is the time to get that done because we are dealing with more mild conditions currently. But I will have to say, Jennifer and I have been watching the radar and we've been seeing and looking closely. We have had several tornado warnings surrounding our viewer area, closer towards the South Miami-Dade area. So I have to say, make sure you are well prepared by later this morning, 10, 11 o'clock at the latest, I should say. But getting back to our threats for today, Jennifer mentioned that tornado watch. It will be in effect through 9 o'clock for our entire viewing area. We've been talking a lot about the tornado risk, in addition to also the damaging wind threat that we have for today. So as far as your tornado threat, we're looking at an enhanced risk. So that's going to be the level 3 throughout the Treasure Coast. That includes Indian River, St. Lucie County, and as well as Okeechobee County. Right now, Martin County and as well as Palm Beach County are just in that elevated risk. So still, that risk is not a 0. So we're still going to keep a close eye on everything that's occurring. But one thing I really want to note when I get closer in, if you notice the etching, we hardly see that etching. At least I've hardly seen that etching down here in Florida. I've seen a lot out west, and that's just showing we have that significant potential of seeing a strong, healthy tornado. Let's put things in motion with your Vipercast. Again, this morning starting off with just seeing a few rain showers across the area. Things will start to get ramped up closer towards this afternoon with one band moving across the area near lunchtime, looking to have a breather as we do have some dry air in place. And then we're going to see one weaker band trying to move through across the area 4 or 5 o'clock, but a heavier round by later this evening near 7 o'clock into the midnight time frame. So I wouldn't rule out that tornado watch actually getting extended closer towards even 10 or even 11 o'clock as we are going to be monitoring those stronger bands moving across the area. Holly?
All right, Francis, they're really honing in on the risk that all of us are going to see ahead of some of those pockets of heavy rain and the wind gusts later this evening through the morning. So those tornado risks, be careful for that. We do want to invite you, if you haven't done it yet, be sure, check out our hurricane guide. You can download it for free on WPTV.com. Gives you a lot of helpful information, everything from what to put in your evacuation kit. We know some of you do have a little bit of lead time this morning to wrap up those errands. If you need to evacuate, it'll tell you your zone specific to you, and you'll find much more there. So again, that is free on our website.
All right, T.A. Walker, he's been up and down our coastline this morning in Palm Beach County, showing us the conditions, but also those who will, basically repair things when things go out, power.
Hanging out with FPL this morning. Let's see what he has for us. Hey, TA, good morning. You're still at the Kennel Club. We know that was a staging area for FPL.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, and so they have everything you need for a mobile city. So they have things like 16-person bunks in the trailer, hygiene stations, laundry, food service, lights, generators, everything. And they were in Vero Beach yesterday. They came down with all these trailers to West Palm Beach, and then FPL had them get up and work. They weren't; these contracted employees weren't expecting to work today to get them to move it to Miami. Some of them got to Miami, and they were turned around. We were following these 4 trailers right here, and they made a U-turn, and we asked what's going on. They said, well, we're not sure where we're going right now. The problem with that is these contracted employees had an Airbnb they gave it up. They said there's no hotel rooms, so they're just literally on the side of the road trying to figure out where to go. Now, these contracted employees are made of firefighters, police department employees, small business owners, tow truck drivers. They're mostly from the Panhandle and Jacksonville areas, and so we're waiting on the side of the road with them. I reached out to Olivia at FPL. She's working on the problem for me to figure out what's going on and where they're going to go. Holly and Mike.
All right, thank you, TA. And listen, one of those areas they might need to go to repair some power or power lines today is going to be St. Lucie County under hurricane warning, and Brooke Chow's been there all morning.
Yeah, let's see which. Okay, we actually are going to try to get back to Brooke here in just a second. I think we have some live pictures for you.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can dip in here. And I'm guessing, we'll get some direction here in just a second, but I believe this is Alligator Alley.
There we go, I-75. So listen, you know, if people are heading from the West Coast here, this is an easy one to take. Naples to Fort Lauderdale, many of you taken it before. Haven't seen, and I've been checking, you know, we check in the morning the traffic reports, and sometimes even statewide. There's no big tie-ups right now. We were kind of seeing those yesterday morning,
Yeah.
but
This is a night and day difference from this time yesterday morning. And I will tell you, at about 9:30 last night, FHP actually opened the emergency shoulder here, Alligator Alley near 75. That way they could try to funnel that traffic through a lot faster. And so by all accounts, it looks like it worked.
Right, tolls are waived on the road, by the way, for Hurricane Milton's approach. We'll be right back after a quick break, folks.
Get your slice of paradise with Box 29. October is National Pizza Month and your chance to win pizza for a year. Enter by going to WFLX.com/contest and vote for your favorite pizza place. It's Box 29 Slice of Paradise. Get your slice of paradise with Box 29. October is National Pizza Month and your chance to win pizza for a year. Enter by going to WFLX.com/contest and vote for your favorite pizza place. It's Box 29 Slice of Paradise.
.847 right now as you're waking up on your Wednesday morning. We are tracking Hurricane Milton. We've had the 8 o'clock update, and hey, we have our reporters fanned out all throughout the area, really giving you an update on how you can prepare ahead of time.
Yeah, we're joined now by Brianna Nesbra, who's been in Wellington this morning. Give us a show and tell of what you've been able to see there in the village, Bree.
Yeah, definitely, Holly. We're actually at Margate Place here in Wellington, one of these communities here. We've been driving around here, and let me tell you something we've noticed. The residents here, they really are preparing for what Hurricane Milton can bring their way. In fact, as we were driving around, we saw multiple houses already with shutters up. Take a look to this house right here on my left, on your right. You can see it already has its shutters up. The same kind of situation across the street with this home also with their shutters up. You know, I was talking to this resident here. He told me he actually put up his shutters on Sunday. He didn't know the path exactly on that day, so he wanted to prepare, be better safe than sorry. And in fact, he told me that he's actually helping other homes in this neighborhood, helping his neighbors, teamwork, put these shutters up. It's basically a team effort here, really preparing all these homes. But I actually want to walk a little bit further down this way. I want to show you this home here to my right. This is actually an Airbnb. We were knocking on their door. We were talking to them for a little bit. They didn't want to speak with us on camera, but something that they told us was they actually live in Cape Coral. They evacuated here yesterday. They told us it took them about 5 hours to get here, what would otherwise be a 2.5 hour drive. They told us they learned their lesson. They stayed there for Hurricane Ian. They said it's a gentleman and his mother and their dogs. They told us their mother's house is still recovering from that hurricane. They learned their lesson. They said if there were to be another storm coming their way, they would immediately evacuate. So that's why they came out here. They were lucky enough to get this Airbnb here in Wellington and ride out the storm here. Right now they're just hoping and praying that when they return to Cape Coral, whenever that may be, that their home is still intact. Everything looks the same. But again, they know what it was like experiencing that through Hurricane Ian. But they're ready to ride out the storm here in Wellington. But again, here in Margate Place, here in this community, we're really seeing just a lot of homes are again preparing. I told you about these two homes with their shutters. It's something that we're seeing all around this neighborhood. A lot of people we saw putting in furniture, bringing it inside their home. I know it might be hard to see right now, but I'm noticing right now in the middle of this live shot here, that home in the corner, you might be able to see a gentleman there. He's got his ladder up, he's got his shutters, he's getting ready to put them up. Of course, they're expecting tropical storm force winds, but you never know, and it's something, we're not telling you to do this, but if you want to, this is a good thing to make you feel safe when you go to bed at night. Your home will be secure. So it's something that we're seeing here in this community.
Yeah, it is really breezy out there. So for anyone who is going to go ahead and put those shutters up, do it quickly. Make sure you have somebody holding that ladder. We did have one injury last night where a 65-year-old man fell and had to go to the hospital putting up those shutters. So those wind gusts can kick up before you know it. And again, we do have some tornado risk here in the area today.
There is a statistic out there. There's so many injuries happen as people are preparing for the hurricane. The hurricane not even coming through, but good eye out there by Brianna and a photographer because they were putting on the shutters, that homeowner there in Wellington. So glad we can show you everybody getting ready right now. We need to basically get to the hurricane in its path right now.
Let's go to Jen. Jen, I know one of the things that you said earlier too is things can be deceptive because it could look kind of nice out, but you said don't get fooled because we could have a rain band or the wind move in and then maybe a break, a lull, and then it comes back.
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to have a bit of period of time between each of these rain bands. Now, the rain that we've had so far early this morning hasn't been those rain bands, those outer bands associated with Milton. It's been that piece of energy out ahead of Milton. But with that said, the first outer bands are already reaching the west side of Florida. We have some setting up with some strong cells here right over Alligator Alley. So I'm going to go ahead and try to zoom in because that first tornado warning over portions of inland Broward and also inland Collier counties right over Miccosukee Reservation, that has since been expired. But zooming into those cells now that are south of that one, this is something to watch too. These are also tornado warned. I'm going to just pause this for a moment. There we go. So this also has a tornado warning for these two cells. But again, the one that just crossed over, basically over into Collier County, now into Hendry County, that one has since expired. Now they're moving almost due north, these cells. So far, they're just staying on the edge, the outer inland edge of Palm Beach County, but definitely this is something we'll have to watch just in case the steering flow starts to change with these and it kind of pushes them closer to the east side. As far as our rainfall over us, closer to us, we do have a little bit of some rain that's happening over in portions of the Treasure Coast. Going to zoom in on this just a little bit. So in the Treasure Coast and also up into the Space Coast, but this rainfall here is very light. So from the morning hours, the rest of the morning hours, we're probably just going to deal with some light rainfall, but eventually this afternoon, we'll start to get those rain bands. First one could come as early as the noon hour or by 2 o'clock. Now, with that, we have, of course, the threat for tornadoes across parts of Florida. In fact, there's a tornado watch. So, Francis, I know you have more on that. That was recently issued.
Yes, this is our most recent update, is that we do have a tornado watch in effect for our entire viewing area through 9 o'clock tonight. This means that we do have the threat of dealing with a few brief spin-ups throughout the day, today into tonight. I'm more so concerned about the rain band that's going to move across the area later this evening. So that's what I'm going to continue to focus on. But in addition to that tornado threat, one thing I do want to highlight here is that we've been upgraded in terms of that enhanced risk for severe weather today. And I just was answering a few questions in terms of the etching. Are these dashes here on the map, and those dashes means that we do have the chance of seeing a significant tornado, and that's going to be highlighted throughout the Space Coast area and just north of northern Okeechobee. So that's one thing that we're going to continue to monitor very closely as we do watch the radar. But we are looking at not only that tornado risk actually now has been upgraded here. We're looking at that enhanced risk that must have just come in, now includes Martin County as well, and clipping into the northern portion of Palm Beach County too. So that's something to keep in mind. We have been elevated in terms of our tornado threat for today into tonight. We're also looking at damaging wind gusts, as we are going to see the tropical storm force winds starting to be felt as early as 3-4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll see that outer wind field pretty much felt on the west coast around this afternoon near lunchtime. But check this out, stopping this near about 8 o'clock tonight, we will all be feeling those tropical storm force winds with wind gusts nearing even 60 miles per hour into tomorrow morning too. We are still looking at this system maintaining its hurricane strength as it crosses the state, finally seeing these winds die down not until midnight Thursday.
Gust and the rain, those are the things that we need to be concerned about.
Yeah, going to look a lot different by this time tomorrow morning. I want to thank you so much. Fox viewers are going to go back to your regular programming, and then we will continue our Hurricane Milton coverage continuously on WPTV News.
We hope you'll stay with us. We'll be right back.